Module 5. Wood Intaglio. Apparatus and Materials. One plywood block, size 7 inches into 7 inches, thickness 2 mm. Tracing and carbon paper, wood carving tool, sandpapers to smoothen the surface, rubber roller 8 inches, black printing ink, inking knife, inking glass, paper for printing, cotton racks and kerosene for cleaning, spoon, printing machine, hand glove. Carefully choose a plywood block which has been cut in the dimension of 7 inches into 7 inches and is about 2 mm thickness. Intaglio comes from the Italian word intagliare, means to incise or cut into or bitten into. Intaglio is the printing technique known specifically for the unique method. In intaglio printing, the image is incised, scratched, cut into or carved into a surface, and the hollow portions or sunken areas hold the ink. When the substrate or matrix is run through a press with a damp paper, the paper is pushed into the grooves of the cut out areas, picks up the ink, and the print is made. Intaglio family of printmaking is exactly opposite to relief family of printmaking, which works on the surface being printed. Polish the surface and bevel the edges of the wood block with sandpaper for ease in carving and ink application. This is to ensure no chips come off when carving is being carried out. Intaglio printing normally is practiced on wood, linoleum, copper or zinc plates, which are used as a surface or a matrix as they have enough rigidity to hold the design under pressure and also enough malleability to the carved into. But this is not necessary, as other substrates have proven to be equally successful in creating distinct intaglio prints. The design to be printed has to be of the same dimension as the size of the block, that is 7 inches into 7 inches. Prepare several sketches to refine the design and select one for printing. Draw or trace the sketch carefully on the block. This sketch can be further improved at the time of the final drawing on the block. In this process, the recessed areas are the ones which get inked, and hence the method of bringing this about are important. Etching, engraving, dry point, aquatint and mezzotint and some collagraphs are all intaglio family techniques. In the intaglio process, the lines of the design to be printed are cut into a metal or other matrix plate by using either a cutting tool called burin, which is handheld, and this may be called engraving process. Or this could be achieved by the process of acid burn on the surface of the matrix. The corrosive action of the acid etches the lines of the design. Although in etching, the plate is covered or protected with acid-resistant ground of resin or wax materials to perfect the line of the edge. An etching needle also is used to achieve these fine lines of designs. Lines can be controlled while making the drawing also by using tools of varying mark-making shapes or sharpness. It is seen that compared to engraving the design in intaglio process, etching achieves a better, smoother and fine line and gradations. It is important to note that intaglio prints will always be a mirror image of the plate. Intaglio printmaking emerged as a printing technique in Europe much after the woodcut printing technique was popular and widely used. The earliest recorded surviving examples of the intaglio printing are undated designs for playing cards made in Germany using the dry point technique from around 1430s. Engraving as a technique has been used by goldsmiths and blacksmiths to decorate metalworks. armors and musical instruments, and objects of religious, political, or royal importance. A technique called niello from the ancient times involved rubbing an alloy into the lines of the design to give a contrasting color effect, and this technique goes back to the Middle Ages. Researchers and scholars of printmaking believe the goldsmiths was the field which contributed largely to the process of intaglio being developed and made popular, giving rise to engraved plates reminiscent of goldsmiths' practices of taking impressions on paper of design engraved an object in order to keep a record of their works or check for quality of the design. Martin Scomger was one of the known artists who took the torch of copper engraving to new heights with his technique. While another artist of huge repute, Albert Dürer, is the most well-known of them all to have taken the techniques of printmaking to seamless heights. He is one of the most famous intaglio printmakers. In Italy and Netherlands, the engraving began after the Germans but developed quite fast and rapidly till 1500. The dry point and etching were exclusively German inventions of intaglio printmaking in 15th century. It is assumed it was invented by the housebook master and Daniel Hofer, respectively. Karl Klick, a VNSA printmaker, introduced a unique technique of combining intaglio and photographic process in the 19th century. Called photogravure, the technique succeeded in retaining the smooth seamless tones of photography but was printed using a chemically etched copper plate. This liberated the image and the technique by letting the photographic image to be printed on regular paper. This opened up a new avenue for the printing of books, albums, and other printing products with ease. Now carefully cut out or carve out the negative image from the design on the block using wood carving or wood engraving tools or other fine tools. Here we are discussing an eminent artist, M.C. Escher. Moritz Cornelis Escher was a Dutch graphic artist who was born on 17 June 1898 in Leeuwarden, Netherlands. He was a gifted artist who was inspired by mathematics to create his woodcuts, lithographs, and majotin. He was very inspired by nature, and in his early days he used to detail insects, landscapes, plants, and such in his artwork. He traveled to Spain and Italy sketching the buildings, architectures, and townscapes, along with tile designs of Alhambra and La Mezquita, Cordova, and this is where he found interest in mathematical structures. He took this interest further by depicting impossible objects, exploring infinity, reflection, symmetry, perspective, stellated, polyhedra, hyperbolic geometry, and numerous tessellations. Escher's art became very popular among scientists, mathematicians, and popular culture. He was one of the main inspirations of Douglas Hofstadter's 1979 book Gödel Escher Patch. In 1918, Escher attended the Technical College at Delft, and from 1919 to 1922 he went to Haarlem School of Architecture and Decorative Arts, where he studied drawing and the art of making woodcuts. He studied architecture briefly, but being weak in many subjects, he moved to decorative art under the tutelage of Samuel Janson de Mascute. In 1920, he traveled to Italy, Florence, San Gimignano, Volterra, Siena, Ravello. Same year he went to Spain, Madrid, Toledo, and Granada. He was very taken by the Italian countryside and the Moorish architecture in Granada from 14th century. The intricate, interlocking, repetitive patterns of tessellations designs had a powerful impact on the work of the artist's hands. He lived in Rome from 1923 to 1935. In 1926, he visited Viterbo and Abruzzi. In 1927 and 1929, Corsica in 1928 and 1933, Calabria in 1930, the Amalfi Coast in 1931 and 1934, and Caragao and Sicily in 1932 and 1935. The landscapes, rural townscapes, all features in his works. His work showed more detailed drawings of mosaics patterns when he revisited Alhambra. His work showed more detailed drawings of mosaic patterns when he revisited Alhambra in 1936. Also his obsession with tessellations. His visits to Mexiqueta and Moorish Mosque in 1937 turned out to be his last long journeys, and his artworks began to be made in the studio rather than the field henceforth. He changed his style from being more observational to realistic. Detailing of nature and architecture in his works changed to a more open-minded and highly imaginative use of geometrical principles in art. He hones his concepts of multiple perceptions and optical illusions as he delved deeper into this field of art. To avoid Mussolini's political climate, he and his family moved to Switzerland in 1936 as he had no interest in political fanaticism. The Netherlands Post Office had each designs stamps for their year fund in 1935 and again in 1949 for the 75th Postal Union celebration. Unhappy in Switzerland, the family moved to Ussel in Brussels, Belgium in 1937, and then World War II saw them move again to Bar, Netherlands in 1941. They lived there till 1970. Most of H.S. Faust's works were made during this span. After 1953, Escher lectured widely across the world. He was awarded the Knighthood of the Order of Orange Nassau in 1955. Escher's work is based on mathematics. This probably was the reason why his works were not so popular, and the resulting docile demeanor of the artist in the art world. These works are often crudely dismissed as too intellectual and lacking a certain amount of lyricism required for an artwork. Though their originality remained undisputed and even highly respected. Conceptual art movements did help in bridging the gap between intellectual versus lyrical art, but that is just as close as it got to open acceptance. Traditional critics disliked Escher's narrative interlocked themes and his use of vibrant perspectives. But he was a crowd favorite as these were the qualities which appealed to the masses. Escher had much similarity in the surrealism of Magritte's works, yet he never had any contact with him. In his early years, Escher, influenced by nature and landscapes, moves his interest towards mathematical and geometrical formations in nature, and later on to observe over tessellations. He called it regular division of the plane. This became the title of his book in 1958, where he reproduced his woodcuts based on tessellations of the plane. He began using the grid technique in geometry to further intricate his design. Here the grids were hexagonal, and his study of regular divisions of the plane with reptiles was released in 1939. His 1943 lithographs is based on this fundamental. He began a mathematical approach towards all his expression, especially symmetrical expressions in his artworks. In 1937, he created woodcut based on 17 groups. In Metamorphosis 1937, he transformed polygons into regular patterns in a plane with human motifs. He had an intuitive and visual understanding of mathematics. Escher worked primarily in the media of woodcuts and lithographs. Some of his major tints are considered masterpieces of the technique. He brought about the unique relationship between shapes, figures, and space mathematically. In these works were embedded geometrical forms like cubes, cones, spheres, and rings or spirals. This is a unique but plausible complexity in the works of Escher. The formation of a specific shape dictated and molded to reform into another shape and then return to its original shape is a cyclic process of understanding time and space, mathematically and intuitively. At times, they aim to defy the laws of physics itself and then adhere firmly to them in the same work. Polish the block with smooth sandpaper and slope the edges. This ensures the surface is devoid of splinters. The artist used three main techniques to get the desired result of precision of his work. woodcuts, linocuts, lithography, and mezzotins. He began each process with numerous sketches, drawings, and drafts. He would then transfer the drawing onto the wood block and begin with carving out differently each portion to enhance the midtones and different colors. He used ink to print on paper. Mezzotins also were his favorite process as he used copper plates to be etched into the acid. The variations of the roughness of the etched areas had more ink, whereas the smooth areas hardly held ink. This disparity ensured deeper range of midtones, which Escher excelled at creating. The work "Metamorphosis" was created from 29 separate wood blocks that made a print about 8 inches width by 23 feet length. Originally his works were semi-realistic, but later his work got more defined and realistic in expression. Perhaps most beguiling are his series of impossible structures that at first seem normal enough, but ultimately prove to be a visual enigma. This is most apparent in Belvedere, 1958, where the upper floor of the structure is impossibly perpendicular to the ground floor. Escher further tantalizes with Ascending and Descending, 1960, where hooded figures are climbing both up and down the same staircase. Similarly, in Waterfall, 1961, water is seen defying gravity by flowing upward toward the top of the falls. Towards the end of his life, Escher became more popular than ever as people marveled at the works and graphics he produced and created all throughout his artistic life. Some of his works were made into posters in 1960s. Psychedelic posters were a craze then. While some illustrations became pop icons on record album covers and such. Many well-received books have been compiled on his life and body of graphic works. Scientific studies have also been conducted on Escher's work in an effort to comprehend the artist's mathematical principles and theories of perspective and symmetry that are evident. Eschar's work was more enduring over the generations, even though it was not instantly accepted or commended and exemplary by the conventional art critics. After this, apply varnish on the block as per requirement. In today's time of graphic design and digital technology, MC Escher plays a role of godfather of graphic imageries and mathematical thoughts to support it. His level of complex tessellations and creation of the Mobius band and its principles are still being seen as masterpiece of mathematics, art and physics. It is rare to see an artist whose works transcend mere subjects of science and art and brings forth an expression which becomes the foundation of sacred geometry and perspective. M.C. Escher lived and worked till he died on 27th March 1972 at the age of 73. Health and safety precautions. Number 1. Wood has tendency to splinter. Hence, depending on the type of wood chosen, one has to be careful while handling it before polishing the surface to smoothness. Number 2. Inks can be water-based or solvent-based, and hence the care has to be taken that if a student has any respiratory allergies, appropriate aeration is provided for. Some tasks in the printmaking processes require intense and rough handling of machinery. Pregnant women and nursing mothers are advised to stay away from such works. After 8 to 10 hours, apply varnish again on the block. Number 4. Always work in a well ventilated area. If in a closed space, keep the windows open at all times. Take the trial-proof print by intaglio process. Read the safety, handling instructions and caution labels on the sodium hydroxide crystal containers carefully. Always wear acid-resistant gloves, safety goggles, apron, and a respirator when handling acids. Number 7. In the case of an accident or your need for assistance, make sure someone else in the room is aware of what you are doing. Number 8. When mixing the sodium hydroxide crystals, it is important to remember to always put in the sodium hydroxide crystals into the water. Never add water to the sodium hydroxide crystals. Reversing this process could cause a furious reaction and perhaps an explosion. Number 9. Should be H solution splash or come in contact with the skin and is allowed to remain in contact with the skin, the result will be a sunburn. It can be washed off immediately with plenty of water and follow these general guidelines. Number 10. Always keep a container of cool water nearby in cases of an accident. If your skin comes in contact with the acid, wash the area immediately with plenty of cold water and soap for a minimum of 15 minutes. Get immediate medical attention. If your eyes should come in contact, call for help and wash your eyes with running water for at least 15 minutes. Get immediate medical attention. It should be noted that in the intaglio process, the ink fills up in the grooves of the block, so it is very necessary to wipe the upper relief surface clean carefully. Dampen the paper half an hour before use of intaglio process. Blot it properly before using the printing. Number 13. If your body should come in contact with the acid, wash your entire body with the hose from the graining sink for a minimum of 15 minutes. Get immediate medical attention. Number 14. Mordants, acid and inks can be water-based or solvent-based, and hence care has to be taken that if a student has any respiratory allergies or asthma problems, appropriate aeration is provided for. Take the final print on final paper. Write the details like date and signature of the print.